Hello, my name's Kyle Pavick. How you doing? Have you ever gone on your phone or opened up a magazine or a newspaper and saw that some millionaire has gone out, bought themselves a $19 billion yacht? You ask yourself, man, I could barely afford those $100 bag of groceries that I bought last week to scrape by. Well, that's what Bernie Sanders is fighting for. He's fighting for that inequality in today's U.S. economical climate. Who is Bernie Sanders? Where does he come from? Why does he think the way he thinks? Well, Bernie was a New Yorker born to a lower income family in New York, where then he moved on to Chicago and got his political science degree from the University of Chicago in 1964. He then in 1981 to 89 became the mayor of Burlington, Vermont. After that, in 1991 to 2006, became a member of the U.S. House of Representatives in Vermont. Then in 2007, he joined the Senate for Vermont. He has an incredible amount of ethos, according to our Chapter 11 Business of Professional Communications quantitative Miller, because he is the longest serving independent member of Congress in American history. So I believe that gives him an incredible amount of ethos. He is trying to fight a massive amount of things. He has a huge laundry list of things that he's fighting. However, I'm only going to touch on the economical portion of it. But he's trying to fight for better economics for the US, education, energy and environment, food and agriculture, foreign policies, labor laws, media access, Medicare, postal services, prescription drug prices, racial justices, retirement securities, taxes, trade, transportation, veteran affairs, and Wall Street reform. Like I said, I'm only going to touch on the economical portion. This is a little bit older of a chart, but I think it still holds a good value here. It shows the difference of the mean household income from 1999 to 2018. I understand it's a few years old, but with the overall inflation of everything, it still holds pretty tight. You can see here that the lowest population, the 20%, has been really negatively affected, mean-wise. They're at a negative 8.1%, whereas you can see the richest 5% has really been just knocking it out of the park. Their mean household income has raised by 17.21%. I mean, Elon Musk is about to become the first trillionaire. Tesla just cut him a deal to make him the most richest person in the US. So Bernie Sanders is trying to fight this. How is he fighting to make this change? He's introduced a lot of different types of legislation. He introduced the Polluter Welfare Act in 2012. It didn't pass. He then again reintroduced it in 2013 and in 2015. And he just really hasn't been that successful in changing the opinion of other politicians to pass this act. However, he's using his political stances through rallying and going on social media and using an active argument to the American people to force them to go out and vote and try to change these policies by putting in the proper government people that will vote with him to change these things. If he is successful on making this change, this legislation would save taxpayers over $135 million over 10 years. So it would really help and put a lot of money into the taxpayers' pockets. I unfortunately don't think he's been very successful just because of his age and the ways that he's gone about. Originally ran for president, which he should have stayed in the race. He eventually dropped out. I think if TikTok would have been around and his speeches could have gotten out a little bit better, then he could have used his inductive reasoning to persuade people to vote in a way that he could make some actual change. Whereas the political structure right now just doesn't allow him to make these changes that he's trying to make by just having a speech or pushing people in a certain direction. He needs the overall political stance, and he just doesn't have it. So, in my opinion, he hasn't been very successful, but I believe that he's on the right track to becoming successful. And that is why I picked Bernie Sanders for my speech. I just believe that he is an incredible speaker. He uses lots of good argument. He uses passion. He doesn't have a monotone voice. He uses his hands. He has everything laid out when he talks. He uses incredible visual aids to show the population why things, like these charts I just did. He has a concluding end. He has these great vocal ranges that really get the people drawn in. And that's why I chose Bernie Sanders.